Hello, welcome to Reviews with Love, Christmas edition. So let's get right into the Hallmark movie, A Christmas Together with You. This one's got Laura Vandervoort, who plays Megan, Harry Lennox, who plays Frank, and Niall Matter, who plays Steve. So this one is Megan sees Frank as like a father figure to her, and obviously Frank sees Megan like a daughter. So when Megan gets the word that Frank, since his wife passed away 3 years back, that lately he's been thinking about his ex-love, who he was madly in love with, and who was the person right before his passed on wife. So when Megan gets the word that he's been somewhat reminiscing and thinking about, oh, what is she doing now? Her name is Claire. And she goes, well, why don't we look for Claire? So Megan was supposed to have a Christmas wedding or whatever. She was supposed to get married, but that didn't end up working out. So her holidays just really opened up. So she's like, well, let's do it. Let's go on this adventure. Let's look for Claire. Initially, Frank wasn't up for it, but after careful consideration, he says, you know what? Why not? If you think you can find her, then let's go look for her. So they go on this adventure. Megan makes a couple calls and she finds out the last place Claire was. They end up driving over there. Turns out she had sold her place and was moving elsewhere, but they were still like losing hope, not sure if they're going to be able to find her. So they end up checking into this lodge where Megan and Frank end up meeting Steve. Steve and Megan had actually had a bit of a encounter a little bit earlier, a couple hours earlier, and it wasn't a good one, but the second meeting is a lot better than the first between the two of them. So that's where Steve owns the lodge, so that's how they start their own mini connection. Megan wasn't really up for it because, as I said, she was engaged and she just had a broken engagement and was a bit heartbroken from that. Wasn't sure she's really trying to get back into a relationship with anyone, but Steve was gung-ho from the start, along like with her, like he was just taken. So yeah, that was like the main premise. So they end up finding Claire, but there's a bit of a change. It's not as smooth sailing as they would have expected, just because of the past history between Frank and Claire. But ultimately it ends up good, as well as all these movies, which is why I watch, as I mentioned before. Yeah, so that's about the premise of that movie. I have to say, so my opinion about it is I actually really did like it. It was a really good movie. Harry Lennox was fantastic, and I thought the chemistry, for me, I think the real focus here was more like a father-daughter relationship between Megan and Frank. So the dynamic between Steve and Megan, yes, they're supposed to fall in love and everything, but for me, it was great. Their chemistry was great, but as far as the movie goes, it felt so, where did their love story come about? Like all of a sudden it's, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Not to ruin it or anything, but I don't think they were the real love focus. I think it was really between Megan and Frank, their father-daughter somewhat relationship, and Frank and Claire. Frank looking for his love, which is really what the movie's about, is him finding his old love. So I can understand, but I felt like maybe they could have focused in a little bit more on Megan and Steve, as far as, so that their connection doesn't just feel like it's it's like, how did they get this really close connection in just 2 days? Like, I don't know how many days it was, but it was just like, you know, like, how did that happen? Well, all of a sudden, because I didn't have the time to really connect with them, per se. They had great chemistry together, but I didn't really have I just felt like there wasn't any real story there for me to really say, oh yeah, look, she's falling in love too. And I've seen other movies do a better job of that, where they, you know, even though there's this side love thing going on, I just felt like, okay, they're supposed to fall in love. This is who she's supposed to end up with. But everything just didn't quite, I don't know. It didn't do it for me, as far as like, it came out of nowhere how strong the connection between the two of them became. But like I said, I absolutely loved the dynamic between Frank and Megan. Like, there were genuine funny moments. Like, they would laugh, and there was a part where he was like, I should have sang better. Maybe if I sang better. And then she was like, yeah, I probably would have helped. But like, when you watch it yourself, you'll get what I'm saying with that scene. But it was funny. It was like, they had a really good chemistry. Their relationship in the movie was great. Their dynamic was really good, and for me, I personally enjoyed more of that. And I like the dynamic between Claire and Frank as well. I thought their chemistry was really good also. But definitely, I think the real focus here, which is perfectly understandable because the movie's about finding his love, but personally, I think it was really focused on that, you know, father figure, daughter relationship, as opposed to really the other loves. So I thought, if it's focused mostly on them, I thought it was brilliant. I thought they did a great job. So all in all, oh, and for Harry Lennox, okay, so I know when I could see, I know, okay, so I still have like visuals of like what he looked like when I could actually see him, like when I could still see faces. But now I can't see faces, so it's almost like creating like a bank, like an archive of like voices, because that's all I can go off of is voices. So, and some people have similar type voices with tone, or I don't know. But anytime he would talk, there would be instances where I'm like, Barack Obama? Like, he was sounding like Barack Obama at times to me. Of course, I remember what Barack Obama looked like when I could see faces too. But for some reason, I would start to see Barack Obama, like, with his voice. So, I thought that was a bit weird and funny at the same time. But, yeah, at times I was like, okay, yeah, I know that's not Barack Obama's voice, but at times I was hearing Barack Obama's voice. So I think they have similar tones, maybe. I don't know. But that was my thing about it. It was hard to watch the movie and not think of Barack Obama. That's all I can say to that. But either way, Harry Lennox, fantastic actor, and I'm familiar with some of his other work, so I clearly knew it's not Barack Obama, obviously, but but I did think that was interesting. I tend to get that at times with some of the actors. You'll find out, because actually there was another one I watched and there was something similar. Ironically, it was in the same night. So you'll be hearing about that one too in a different video. But alright, so that was A Christmas Together with You. I very much loved it. Loved Harry Lennox and Laura Vandervoort's chemistry. It was very believable that I could really see the father, you know, figure, like how she views him, and, you know, him seeing her like a daughter, even though he never actually had any children of his own. So yeah, it was very believable for me. That relationship and chemistry was very strong. So yes, check that out for yourself. Hallmark, A Christmas Together with You. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, God bless and bye.